Good morning, bedheads. Click. It's not really fair because I don't have a bedhead, but whatever. I haven't said it for a while. How are you today, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides? We have so many things to talk about today, which is amazing. I love all you guys, and I just love having the opportunity to look at stuff that's going on in the world and bring it to some spiritual perspective, and always looking for ways that love wins. This is a lovely mug that someone in our community sent me. And I was just inspired now to start a Love Wins contest. So I want to do a short, small series, maybe 5 or 6 mugs in our mug shop that's related to something about love. Okay, but it has to be not like love as in like love another, but just like the idea that love wins. So like, like one of them's probably going to be for sure, like, I'll let love deal with it. I'll let love deal with it. So in the post area of this channel, okay, so just go to posts. There's a post there. If you click on the link in the post, it's a call out for this contest. So if you have ideas on how love wins or funny, like humorous things about love, spirituality and love, but again, I don't know if I don't know how to say this so that it doesn't really matter. Whatever ideas you have, just put them down. And if you want to win, if we pick one of your descriptions or your mug labels or your mug quote, then you will win a free mug, okay, with your mug quote on it, okay? If we pick one of those and put it in the shop, all right? So we're going to collect your email address. We're not going to use it for anything, but to contact you if we choose your slogan, okay? Slogan? Yeah, slogan. Okay, I said quote, I said, all these different things. Okay, so I just came up with that idea a second ago, but I think it would be kind of fun. So let's see what we can come up with, okay? Click. All right. So real quick, we're going to talk about what's going on in LA. I think it's really interesting. I was listening to Keith Oberman. I will list his channel below. I really enjoy him. I think he's freaking hilarious. The only thing you want to be careful of is if you, I wouldn't listen to him if you get really anxious about what's going on in the world because he says it straight, but he's also, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I can get, like, I only can listen to him for so long because sometimes I get sort of, but I find him quite humorous and he's a straight shooter. He's just a straight shooter. Anyways, I have some things to share from his most recent shows regarding what's going on in LA and that sort of thing. And then we've got kind of a conversation today, a spiritual messages, political messages, but it's a conversation that I had with the SGs, with our lead team collective. Actually, I asked, as I always do, for the lead team collective, which is all of our spirit guides in this community combined, including yours, okay, all of our spirit teams. And so I asked them using this pendulum chart and then a pendulum, and they spell stuff out for me basically. So I had a nice little conversation with them, and I'm going to share that in a minute. But before we get talking about all that, ta-da! I should have an air horn right now. Boop, 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 boop. Finally, the small business directory is completed. Okay, I'm so excited because, I've been talking about it for a while and I'm sure those who joined it are like, hello, are you ever going to get it done? And it's done. I'm so excited. Originally, we were going to do just a spreadsheet to make it, fast. And then I decided, no, we can't just do a spreadsheet. It's going to look pretty. So there is a link right there. You see the QR code? Go visit our directory. It's small businesses from our community. So if you want to support our community and their small businesses and you're looking for new ideas, please go visit. Okay, I'm going to show you a few items. Okay. And the link is in the description as well, if you can't grab that QR code right there. All right. So now you're going to have to hunt and peck because what we're not going to do is send individual, like, where's this found? Okay. It's not going to be hard to find. It's really laid out really well. And we want you to browse anyways, because you might find something else that you didn't know existed. So we've got this. I know a lot of people keep asking, like, where did I get this? This is in the directory. Okay. We have authors in the directory. This is an amazing book. I'm in the middle of reading it right now. This is under books and journals. See, it's not going to be hard to find stuff. This is under spiritual products and tools. Okay. It's not going to be hard to find things. Okay. Check out this book. Check out the other authors. We've got an author of children's books, and we've got some others. Okay. We've got, of course, my mug. I've been using this mug for a while. That's in our arts and crafts area. Okay. So cute. This is also in our arts and crafts area. This artist mailed this to me. How freaking adorable. Actually, wait till you see the other items in her shop. You guys have got to check this out. Handmade, and there's just the cutest little animals on there. Really, it's just amazing. Read her story too. Okay, you guys? Okay, so those are the ones I have to share today. But we've got apparel and jewelry, arts and crafts, books and journals, candles and aromatherapy, digital products and courses, health and wellness, quite a bit in there. Check it out from our community. Yay! And so excited. Pet services and products. I mean, there's you can go, there's a spiritual, let me just click on the pet services real quick. You think I would have this stuff memorized since I was working on this so much. So we have animal hypno shift, canine mobile rehab, and docs hemp. So hemp for your dogs and cats and horses, if you have horses. And then we have an alpaca ranch on here that sells alpaca items and books and gifts and hand spun yarn. How cute is that? And the cutest little alpacas on their site. They actually have alpacas too. So check those out if you've been looking for one. And then we have a whole section of spiritual readings and guidance. Definitely check that out. We've got someone doing soul contracts. We've got my astrologer on there, Faye, she's on there. We've got Rainbow House, which is one of our favorite members here. And he is waiting for, he's compassionate psychic mediumship is what he calls himself. Okay. Yeah, compassionate psychic medium. Oh my God, Gary, I was having a major senior menopausal moment. I'm like, Rainbow House, Gary, it's Gary. So Gary, compassionate psychic mediumship. Gary, I had to pause for a minute. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, so book with Gary. We've got soul contract readings, like I said, quantum healing hypnosis technique, a Reiki master on here, beyond quantum healing, another quantum field solutions spiritual coach. We've got tarot reader, soul remembering, not fortune telling. Okay. We have somebody who does intuitive interior design. How amazing is that? Intuitive interior design. Uncover your home's purpose. I'm totally doing that. I am totally doing that. My sister's already booked. We have somebody, sorry, I'll tell you that in a second. We have somebody who calls themselves the Witch Doctor Peachy, learning deeper love for yourself, holistic health counseling, magical training. So that one you could call that one, but all the other ones you can click on and go to their websites. So, and then, like I said, we have the spiritual products and tools. Okay. We have Reiki charged jewelry, incense and sprays. Of course, our shop is in there with the mugs, and then, these, and she's got a whole bunch of other signs, wreath signs, actually, with beautiful designs on them as well, besides just these. So, okay. So yes, please visit our small directory businesses. If you are a small business and you're not on the directory, we've got about 50 right now. Okay. We're waiting for a few others that have already joined to get some images and stuff like that. So if you don't see yours and you've already joined, just contact our email and Marsha's probably been trying to reach out to you. But if you would like to join, there is a link in the description below. The price is going to be bumping up in, I think, like 30 days. I haven't gone into there yet. So we're doing another price increase. So make sure if you want to join and you want to be a part of this small business directory, we'd love to get as many on here as possible so that we have a nice little base for our community to shop at. Okay. So even though Father's Day is coming up and we've missed it a little bit in terms of like being able to ship out things, some people might be able to ship out to you, it might be a little late. But definitely you could sign up for some of the services for Father's Day gift. That would be amazing. So, okay. So you guys, what's going on today? What is, T-Rump up to? I hear all these different names. T-Rump, the Melon Felon, so many different things. So anyways, Keith Olbermann. Okay, Keith Olbermann. He shared some really helpful information that I thought would be interesting for you to know. So, the thing going on in California, if you haven't heard, there's, basically what Keith said. Okay. So, Trump was basically he's just looking for a reason to send the military out because I think it just makes him feel, I'm just guessing that, but he makes him all proud and mighty, right? So he's looking for a reason. I think I think a lot of people have been saying like that's just where he's trying to ramp up to, and testing his authority. He's just kind of been testing his authority. What can he get away with, right? What's really hilarious, though, to be honest, there's a couple things to think about. So what Keith Olbermann shared was, well, first of all, they filed a lawsuit against him. Of course they have. It's actually illegal. It's illegal. He bypassed the governor. So it's completely illegal. The governor is basically saying, okay, get it over with. Come and arrest me now, because they've been threatening him to do that. He actually has the law behind him, which is just so freaking hilarious. These people who are running our country right now are pretending to. It's really kind of a joke, isn't it? So so basically they filed a lawsuit. Trump has threatened to cut off California of federal aid, which, okay, we are going to laugh very loud right now about that because what I love, this is where love wins, you guys. Love wins. If Trump thinks he's going to win that, cutting them off of federal aid, because here's the thing. I know some of you probably already know this, but it's always helpful to be reminded. Again, these details came from Keith Olbermann, so he's done the research, okay? So basically Newsom, the governor, basically said, we'll stop paying our federal taxes. We'll stop paying our federal taxes. And you know what? If they stopped paying their federal taxes, it's $692 billion that California pays. 80 billion of that actually goes to the red states. It's donated to the red states. So, and these are the people who basically voted for him. And, so Olbermann, he always has these really interesting ways to describe things, but I wrote these down, I don't personally describe things this way, but this is how he described things, which is why he can kind of raise your stress level a little bit but he's accurate, I mean, he talks about them, he's like the leech states that put him in power. He calls them the leech states. And that this would break the red states tomorrow if Governor Newsom did not pay the federal taxes. It would break them tomorrow. So it would basically, he said, shut down the ATMs, their ATMs. So, I don't think people realize in the red states that how much the blue states actually support them, So, and I say, to me, the love wins. Love wins. Let each state to their own then, If that's how they're going to be, then maybe love wins that way for a short period of time. Not that I don't want to take care of people. I know there are disadvantages and advantages of each state. But if we're going to play these games, then maybe love needs to win that way for a short period of time. I don't know. That's just my opinion. You don't even, who cares about my opinion? But, so yeah, so basically he said, the blue states are the donor states. Basically, we're the donor states. And I say we, I'm in Wisconsin, but California, Wisconsin, Illinois, New York, Minnesota. I'm sure there's other Vermont maybe. I'm sure there's others and I'm missing them, but anyways, so the last thing I'll say about the of what's going on in LA though is that this was a point that Keith made in another episode. I think came out today. Is that when the Lakers won and the NBA, when they won the title for the NBA in 2020. There were, people get a little, they're all drinking and stuff, so they get a little rowdy. And there was like 2,000 people downtown LA, and they were, there was like cars burning, and they were throwing rocks and doing, stuff that they shouldn't be doing because they've been drinking or whatever, and they were celebrating. So the victory celebration, 76 people were arrested. You know how many people were arrested in LA when Trump had to call the National Guard out? 42. 42, 76 when they won the title, 42, and who knows how legit those were even, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, you can't make this shit up, can you? You cannot make this shit up, but this book is so good, you guys. The Dream Tidings of a Disgruntled Starbean. Oh, I mean, Lynn, oh my gosh. How did you learn to write like this? I mean, Lynn. Okay. All right. You guys ready for the messages for today? Okay. So I, as always, started with the dowsing rods, saying my prayer, making sure they had a message for us today. And I asked for a spiritual message from our lead team collective, which again includes all of our spirit guides, whoever hangs out in this community. If you're watching this video right now, your spirit team was involved in this conversation with me. Okay. So I asked for a spiritual message and then anything political they wanted us to know. And I did kind of tease out some things. Okay. So the very first message they gave me, and I had actually asked for a political message first, but this is what they gave me. So they gave me leave it to God. So now I'm like, okay, is that a spiritual message? I mean, it is a spiritual message, right? But I did specifically ask for the political message first. We get a lot more detail in political here in a second, but that is the message they gave me first, is leave it to God. Okay? So love it. It's always a good reminder, because when we leave it to God, we don't get our panties in a bundy, all right? We don't get our panties all in a bundle, right? And we wait to see how love is going to take care of it. Like I'm at a point, love will deal with that. Love will deal with that. If I'm called to go and join a protest, or not a protest, what are we calling it? We haven't talked about this for a while. Join a rally, a march. What were we calling it? I can't remember what we were calling it a while back. I'm forgetting Gary's name today. When I forget Gary's name, you can't expect me to know anything. I'm having one of those days, I guess. Okay. Gary has been around our community for a while, and there's no reason for me to ever forget Gary's name. Okay, so leave it to God. And I said, I feel like I just missed something. Was I leading somewhere? Oh, we were talking about the protests. So yeah, if you're called to do those things, if you're like, yeah, I'm going, like this is part of who I am, then absolutely go. If you're not like, if you're like, well, should I go or shouldn't I go? If you have to ask that question, then your guides, your team is saying no. And that's okay. We're not going to judge each other. We're going to do the things that we're called to do individually. Okay. And when you find yourself putting a should on things, I would take a step back and just clarify with your team, okay, I'm asking should. And if I'm not inspired, if I'm not like, if it's not a full-blown yes, and this has to do with anything, not just the political activism, but if it has to do with any part of your life, if there's not a full-blown yes, then give it a few days and then ask again. If it's still not a full-blown yes, then I would personally, I'm learning that that's a no. Okay. But that's different for everybody. Remember the message a couple days ago was live and let live. Live and let live. And the reason that was a card we got a couple days ago. The reason live and let live is because we all have a different calling. We all have a different soul path. Okay. Doesn't mean you have to like somebody's soul path, but we're going to live and let live. And then we don't have to spend time judging, right? We're going to let love deal with it. Okay. So leave it to God. I said, leave what to God? Okay. So I wasn't sure, like, leave what? And of course, they spelled out Trump, of course. That'll be what are we going to talk about when, it's going to be amazing when we don't have to talk about him anymore. Okay. Trump. Okay. And then I asked, what's the big picture about with LA and Trump? Like, what's the big picture? What is that about? And this is what they spelled out. Losing his mind. Now and then I asked, well, literally losing his mind? And they said, no, not literally losing his mind. Okay. So, and then I said, is it testing authority? Because that's kind of what I've heard people talking about, is him testing his authority. I didn't kind of come up with that on my own. And they said, yes. But he's losing his mind. Like he not literally though, not like, don't think he necessarily has dementia. He might, I've never asked, but it's not necessarily that. He's just losing his mind. Okay. And then I said, well, how would you like us to view this situation? And they said, sad. Now, then I clarified, well, do you want us to be sad? Like, that doesn't feel like good advice. Like, I don't want to be sad about it. I just want love deal with it. I want to let love deal with it. And they said, when I said to them, do you mean like, it's just, you know how you would say to somebody, well, that's just sad. That's just sad. You would say it like that, like that's just bizarre, or, there's a better way. I asked them that when I used the dowsing rods, and they said yes. So isn't that funny that they spelled out? I said, how would you like us to view this? And it's just sad, just sad, just sad that he has to go to this length, And then I asked, do you have any other messages for us today? Okay, any other messages for us today? And they said, raise your vibration. Okay, so if you're wondering how to raise your vibration, then first of all, it would be totally amazing, because I only have certain ways that I do it, but for those there's so many people in the community who work on raising their vibration every day. And so could you please leave some comments for those who are newer and starting their spiritual journey with us in this community? And even just, I probably never used the term vibration until 6-7 months ago, when I started learning about it. So it's a very new term for me. So I don't want to assume that everybody knows what vibration means, So basically you have a lower and a higher vibration. You could put any time now, I think of the ultimate love. If you're in love state, you have a higher vibration. If you're in anger, depression, sadness, you're in a low vibration. If you're doing things that are not of a moral code, like the Trump administration, that's a low vibration. Okay. If you have a high moral code and you're doing things for the good of all, then you're at a higher vibration. So like service work, or just just doing things out of the goodness of your heart, or because you have a calling to do it, would be more of a higher vibration. Okay. Doing things out of revenge, which is, who, allegedly and entertainment purposes only. I'm going to start bringing my mug. Thank you, Gary. For entertainment purposes and allegedly, I'm just going to have that. Somebody had recommended I just keep my mug close to me. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I had it sitting right there actually, and I was like, well, you can't even read it. So I did a call out for bedhead pictures. I got two so far. Thank you, you guys. I got two bedhead pictures. I said if I got at least 30, I would do a bulletin board up here, but I only got two. So it's okay. I don't need to do a bulletin board. Okay, so raise your vibration. So then I asked them if they wanted me to pull a card, and they only gave me one deck today. Usually they give me two. Usually they give me one for political and one for spiritual. Today we only have one for the whole thing. Okay, so if you're new here, I have a deck of 64. I have 64 oracle decks and one or two tarot decks. The letting go deck. So I shuffle, and this is the deck that flew out. I asked my guides using my pendulum or my dowsing rods if that's the deck they wanted, and they said yes. Okay, so this is the deck, the letting go deck. It's an amazing deck. I love every single one that I have, but this one's great. I will link it below if you're interested in taking a look. Okay, so let's do a prayer real quick. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so that it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Okay, so you guys, what messages do you have for us today? You have a letting go message for us today, which is kind of appropriate since they said leave it for God was the first message, that this is the deck they would drop for me. I probably had 10 decks that dropped, and I use my dowsing rods. They kind of go out, or they feel different in my hand, so I pull them. I probably had 10 of them today, and they're like, nope, 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 nope. And then this one was the last one after I put them all back. This was the one that came out, and they said yes. So they really wanted us to have this deck today. All right, is that the only card, you guys? See, it's funny that one flew out, and now I'm not feeling any movement. Okay, is this the card you wanted me to read, you guys? All right, we got ourselves a message. All right, you guys, this is going to be a great way to leave for the day. Let me see. I always forget which side to read first. Hang on a sec. Okay. All right. Enlightenment is not something that occurs in the future. After 50 years of sitting cross-legged and saying, it is right here in this instant. Right here. Enlightenment is right now, because right now is all that exists, right? So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down, but I'm going to read this for you. It's the other side of the card. The reason you're not experiencing this state of enlightenment is because it is being resisted. Let go, leave it to God. Let go clinging to what has just occurred. Just occurred, like every second. Like now you can let go of what you just heard. Let go clinging to what has just occurred. Let go trying to control what you think is about to occur. Then you live in an infinite space of non-time and non-event. There is an infinite space beyond description, and you are home. Because right now, wherever you're sitting at this very moment, unless you are in danger, which you would then not be sitting here listening to me, then you would be in this space only, not what you're doing in 5 minutes or 1 minute from now, not what you did 1 minute before. You're going to forget about some of the things I said that might have irritated you or whatever, and using that kind of as an example of moving through our life. Some people have that down. It's incredible. Feelers have a little harder time, I think. So we have to kind of rein that stuff in because we can hang on to stuff. Or intuitive sometimes too. I'm only using my own because I'm an intuitive feeler. So people, if you're opposite, you can think about how you might hang on to things. But, I'm always, if I don't understand something, I got to talk about it until I understand it, especially as an extrovert, right? So it's kind of interesting using the Myers-Briggs for that kind of thing, understanding the Myers-Briggs for all different parts of your life, really. So it's important, not to look at other people, but look at yourself. And you can look at other people, obviously, to learn how they might be approaching something, but most importantly, look at yourself, right? So, yeah, I love this. So, are you resisting? Are you clinging to what just occurred? Are you still mad about the election? Because if I'm just using it as an example because that's where a lot of people are sitting. I'm not. I'm not mad about it. I'm letting love deal with it at this point. Okay. And I'm trying every day to live in the space that is currently in the now, right here. I love that. There is an infinite peace beyond description when you live in an infinite space of non-time and non-event. It's just whatever is currently happening right now. It's amazing. And then you are home. You are home. That's enlightenment. You don't have to sit and go, right? You can just practice that every single second. And that's enlightenment. Then you're enlightened if we can do that. That's a great description. I got to put that in my journal for today. So, okay, you guys. Well, have an amazing day. And I will see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. Take care. Bye-bye.